What is up, you guys? My name is Aubrey and this is my channel, and today I want to talk about business. More specifically, I want to talk about the 5 things that people get wrong whenever they are trying to start a business or they are first starting out. You see, the thing that's so great about business is the fact that there are so many different avenues and paths that you can pursue to ultimately kind of reach the same end goal, which is financial success. And it seems as though everybody's story is slightly different from one another. Because of that, I feel as though it sometimes is hard to find direction in what you should or should not do. And because of the same reason, I think that so often people look for some of these cookie cutter things and cookie cutter aspects to implement in their own business, when the fact of the matter is some of these things are simply unnecessary. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down these 5 things of what people get wrong about business. I'm going to be talking about why people get them wrong and what you can do instead. So let's get started. Now let's just jump right into it. Now keep in mind that these are not in a specific order and that I don't think that any of these are worse than the others. They're just kind of all things that I think people get wrong. And with that, the number one thing that I think people get wrong about business is the need to get a loan or the need to have a loan in order to start a business. This is something that I hear and I see all of the time, especially whenever I was making more of my stimulus related content. So often people would say, I want to start a business, but the money is holding me back. I want to start a business, but I can't get an SBA loan. I want to start my business, but X, Y, and Z. And so often the reason as to why people haven't started their business is because of lack of funds. Now, the fact is that there are some businesses out there that you need a loan in order to start. Kind of one of the ones that I think of off the top of my head is franchising. So often people who open a franchise need a loan in order to get started, which is pretty standard amongst the franchising industry. But on the flip side, there are so many other businesses that you do not need a loan to get started with. And so many of those people that I've talked to through my YouTube videos or through email, through direct messages, say that they need a loan in order to get started when that simply isn't the case. The fact is that there are so many businesses that you can grow organically, meaning that you grow as your sales increase and you just invest the profits back into your business and grow that way. And there are very few businesses out there that as a first-time entrepreneur, you have to have a loan in order to start. More often than not, the answer to this type of problem, the problem of not having enough capital, is simply taking up more hours at work, is by doing side hustles, side gigs, taking on more shifts, making extra money any way that you can find, not necessarily going out and securing a loan. In fact, I would say that the best thing to do as a first-time entrepreneur is to avoid loans and to avoid lenders like the plague. Because the fact is that whenever you start a business and you do so with a loan, there's automatically significantly more risk associated with that business than there would be if you were building a business organically. All in all, though, I think that getting a loan in order to start a business is simply something that is not necessary 90% of the time. And even if you think that you need a loan, chances are you don't. And I would really evaluate your finances, the finances of your business, and your business as a whole in order to decide whether you really need a loan or not. The next one is the need to have a mentor or a co-founder. Now, this is something that I heard all the time in my early 20s. Whenever I was talking to people who were trying to start their own businesses, they always stressed the need to either have a co-founder or have a mentor. And don't get me wrong, I think that having a mentor and having a co-founder are excellent tools for a business owner and for an aspiring entrepreneur. But I believe that these things are only valuable if they come to you organically, and that going out and searching for a mentor or for a co-founder purely for the sake of having one kind of defeats the entire purpose as a whole. There is something to working on your own and just kind of grinding out your business on your own in your free time in order to make it successful. And there is something that adds complications to the entire equation whenever you bring somebody else into the picture. Now, granted, there are people out there that work better in pairs and that work better with a team, and I totally acknowledge that, even though I am certainly not that type of person. But I also think that so often people are really, really stressed about having a mentor or having a co-founder just for the sake of having one, and not really because they want the advantages that come along with having a second mind to bounce ideas off of. There are so many people now out there who pay for services to be a mentor, where you pay somebody a monthly fee or a flat rate fee in order for them to mentor you. And I just feel as though that kind of defeats the entire purpose of having a mentor at all. For me in my personal life and in my work life, I feel as though the best mentors have been friends that are older or more successful than me, and I've been able to just organically learn from them over the years. They haven't been people that I've reached out to directly for the purpose of them becoming my mentor. Because whenever you have a mentor or a co-founder, you have to make sure that you mesh well with them on a variety of different levels, from their ethics to their drive to their industry and so much more. And you can't always find that simply by finding somebody online and writing them a check in order for them to mentor you. So if you're somebody who wants a mentor, if you want a co-founder and you haven't been able to find one, I wouldn't stress about it, and I certainly wouldn't go out of my way to find one. There are so many resources online between forums, YouTube, and so much more where you can almost get mentorship knowledge without having to actually go out and find a one-on-one mentor. If you find a mentor, if you have a mentor or co-founder, that's amazing and that's excellent, and I'm sure that that will help your business grow. But if you don't have one, I don't think that that's going to hinder your growth either. And I think it's just one of those things that if you have one, great, but if you don't have one, no big deal. And because of that, I think that this is one of those things that people get wrong about business, that they feel like they need a co-founder or they need a mentor in order to grow at a steady rate, whenever that simply just isn't the case. The next one is a big one, and that is the belief that in order to be incredibly successful in business, you have to reinvent the wheel and you have to go out and do something incredibly new, incredibly unique, and that everybody will love. The fact is that entrepreneurs and business owners who reinvent the wheel, they are few and far between. They are the people like Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, and Mark Zuckerberg. And the sad reality is that the majority of us aren't Elon Musks, and that's okay. There is a lot of opportunity in just day-to-day life, day-to-day tasks, and day-to-day needs and problems that need to be solved. And you can start an incredibly successful and an incredibly profitable business by doing really unsexy and just normalized things. You don't have to invent an entirely new product or an entirely new industry in order to be successful. And instead, you can go into an industry or find a product that already exists, that already is successful, and make it your own, and then turn it into your own success. I have had the pleasure of talking with a whole lot of successful people in my life, and almost every single one of those successful people have not reinvented the wheel in their business, they just made the wheel better. So instead of looking at how you can come up with a new industry, a new product, or a new service that will change the world, instead I would encourage you to look at ways that you can make current products, current services, or current industries better. And that's where you can really make a successful company in the process. Now, there is always a chance that somebody watching this video could be the next Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg or Steve Jobs. And if you have an amazing idea that you think could be revolutionary, absolutely go and pursue it. But if you're somebody that doesn't come up with those revolutionary ideas, like myself, I know that I'm not smart enough to be the next Elon Musk. Don't beat yourself for it, because the fact is there are plenty of ways to become successful by just making that wheel better, not reinventing it as a whole. The next thing that people get wrong about business is the need to quit their 9-to-5 job in order to pursue their business full time. Now, this is something that you see a lot on social media, and I feel as though it's almost over glamorized on social media. Now, don't get me wrong, I think that quitting your full-time job in order to pursue your business full-time is an amazing step that anybody who does it should be incredibly proud of. But the problem is that so many people take this step a little bit too soon. They feel as though their full-time job is hindering their growth of their business rather than knowing this as a fact. The fact of the matter is, having a full-time job is a great thing for not only you and your personal life and the stability of your personal life, but it's also a great thing for your business as well, because it allows for you to have excess capital to reinvest into your business. Having a full-time job allows for you to pay your bills, to buy food, to have a place to live, and excess money, hopefully, at the end of the month. And once you quit that full-time job, that income is no longer there. And now you have to not only take the money out of your side business that you could have reinvested in order to pay yourself, but you also are taking away the stability aspect as well. And you can't grow a business if you don't have a place to stay. You can't grow a business if you don't have any food. You can't grow a business if you don't have electricity. You need all of these things in order to grow a profitable and successful business. And oftentimes the way that you get that is through having a full-time job. Quitting your full-time job in order to pursue your business full-time is an amazing step that anybody who reaches it should be proud of. But you should make sure that you do it at the right time, and you shouldn't quit your full-time job until your side business is making as much, if not more, than you were making with your full-time job. You not only want to make sure that you can pay yourself with your business, but you also want to be able to reinvest money back into your business as well. And if you can't do that from your business alone, you should absolutely keep your full-time job until you can do it with your business alone. And this is one of the biggest things that people get wrong about business. And the final thing that people get wrong about business is how to measure your success in business. If social media has taught us one thing, it's that success is exotic vacations, exotic cars, mansions, and private jets. But the fact is that this isn't always what success looks like, and that success has a wide variety of different appearances and a wide variety of spectrums. There are a lot of people who are incredibly wealthy and incredibly successful who are able to have exotic cars, mansions, and go go on these exotic vacations. But just because you don't have these things or you don't go on these things does not mean that you're not successful. Success isn't defined by 7-figure or 8-figure numbers, and that there is a wide spectrum of different success levels. Success for you means something different than success for me, and I think that that's really important for people to realize, because with social media and with kind of the over-glamorization of these flashy materialistic items that I just talked about, I feel so often entrepreneurs and business owners devalue their own success because of the fact that they're not pulling 7 or 8-figure numbers. I know of plenty entrepreneurs who are making $100,000 a year and are able to live an incredibly successful and comfortable life. And I also know of people who are making 7 figures per year of 8-figure businesses who are equally as comfortable. The fact is that comfort and success just mean different from person to person. I believe that regardless of how much revenue or how much profit your business makes a year, that if you have a business that can support you, that can support itself, and that can support your family, that is a success in itself. And that is something to be proud of. So if you're somebody who's getting into business, if you're somebody who has a business or you want to start a business, don't let these people online who are flashing their 7 or 8-figure lifestyles feel as though your success is invalidated, because success comes in many different ways, shapes, and forms. And the fact is that if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner that has a business that can stay afloat, that is something to be proud of, and that is a form of success as well. Business is funny because I feel as though social media has really over-glamorized business and business ownership. And whenever you think of owning a business and you think of an entrepreneur, you oftentimes think of what you see in movies or on social media. People who are jumping from meeting to meeting, people who are in suits and ties, people who have exotic cars or really expensive mansions. And the fact is that more often than not isn't what business looks like. And so often business and entrepreneurs look like people like me and people like you. Just very normal people who are working hard in order to make a good living. And business and success isn't measured by some of the standard things that we see so often online and in the media. Opening and starting a business is hard, and I think that anybody who has done it can definitely relate to how difficult it can be. But if you take some of the things that I've talked about in this video and you take all of these things with a grain of salt, then I do feel as though you are going to be one step ahead of those people who don't. So with that being said, you guys, I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear if there's anything that you feel as though people get wrong in business, so make sure to leave a comment down below. And while you guys are at it, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. And I will see you guys in the next video.